Hey there, you are watching day 1 video of the free 3-day health challenge. So welcome, I am Christy Stabler and I am your host for this challenge. So today in video 1, I want to go over just a few things with you. I am going to talk a little bit about who the heck I am, and that'll tie into the rest of what we're talking about. So in this video, number 1, we're going to talk about who I am. Number 2, we are going to talk about a beautiful analogy that I want to give you that is going to set the tone for all the rest of the advice and tips and philosophies that I tell you about health and fitness. And then number 3, we're going to get right into the meat of it, which is the tips for health and fitness, things that you can implement right away in your everyday life if health and fitness is important to you, which why else would you be here, right? All right, so getting into it. First of all, who am I? Well, let's see. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm an entrepreneur, and currently I am a personal trainer, a nutritionist, and a mindset coach. I coach clients both in person and online. So let's get right into my story. My story started a long, long time ago. But basically, I grew up the stereotypical fat kid. And because of that, I think that kind of set the tone for a lot of what happened later on in life. But after I had my daughter, I had this crazy idea to go and do a figure competition as a way of kind of just putting a date out there, a goal out there that I had to achieve. And I thought it would really be motivating for me to get into incredible shape, a shape I didn't know if I could even get into because quite frankly, my past history showed that that wasn't possible for me, but I wanted to push the boundaries a little bit and see what I could do there. So I did. I competed in figure, and my first show was on my 30th birthday. On my exact birthday, I was in a teeny tiny little bikini up on stage. It was crazy, but I got a trophy. I won second place, and I qualified for a national level show. So then I went on to do another regional show, and then finally the national show. And I did place there, but I was so burned out by the time I hit that national show that I quit. I said, I'm done. I never want to do this again. Basically, to get into the kind of lean shape you need to be, I had to go to massive extremes. My coach at the time had me doing an hour of cardio every single day, 7 days a week, on top of 6 days a week of weight training. Then towards the end of my training, I was doing an hour and a half of cardio every single day, plus an hour of weights. So if that weren't enough, then my nutrition, towards the end, I was taking in about just under 1,000 calories. And considering I was still 135 pounds when I was on stage, 1,000 calories is really low. I'm 5'8", I am not a small person. So 1,000 calories was very low. And of course, I am a mom. I have 2 stepdaughters. I also have my own daughter. At the time, she was only 18 months old. So I was running around after her, and I got to a point where I was so burned out while I was training for these shows that I literally would look at my daughter and I couldn't get up off the couch to go play with her. There was no energy for that. All of my energy was spent making and preparing my foods and getting to the gym and getting that workout in. So, oh yeah, and don't forget posing practice. That was in there too. But playing with my daughter, that kind of had to take a back seat. And it feels shameful to say that, but I'm really glad that I was able to recognize that that lifestyle wasn't right for me. And I'm not saying that that lifestyle can't work for other people or that it's not extreme for other people, but for me and my body and my genetics and my metabolism, I had to go to extremes to get into the shape I needed to be for the stage. And I just came to a realization that that's not the life for me anymore. I didn't want that. So I quit and instead did my personal training and nutritionist stuff, and I developed very different philosophies on health and nutrition, and I want to share those with you today. So the next thing I wanted to go over was my super duper analogy. I love analogies, so bear with me. Okay, so it's basically called the minimal effective dose strategy. And you may have heard of this elsewhere. I'm sure I didn't create it. But basically, what it says is that you want to do the bare minimum needed to get the results that you want. So recently, one of my clients who is a nurse was, we were having this dialogue, and I said, no, I don't want you to drop your calories that low. They need to be up here still. And she thought, well, she was kind of questioning that. Like, well, everything I've ever heard says, I need my calories down at like 1,200. And so I used this analogy on her, and being a nurse, she totally got it. So let's say you have a headache, a really bad headache. So what's the first thing you do? Most people, we go get the ibuprofen or the Tylenol or whatever, and we take some medicine and hope it goes away. And usually it does. Given enough time, it'll go away. What you don't do when you have a headache is go to the doctor and get a prescription for morphine and start mainlining the morphine over a simple headache. It's just overkill, right? It makes sense. It's logical that that's just too much, right? So think about that in terms of health and fitness. So you want to get in shape, you want to drop weight. So should you drop your calories drastically and increase your exercise drastically? No, that's the overkill. That's the morphine. You don't want to do that. You want to do the minimum necessary to get the results that you want. So what that means is that you have to drop your calories slightly, you have to increase your activity slightly, and watch your progress. Now, what this does mean is that you have to give up the idea that dropping weight, getting healthy is a quick fix, something that'll happen overnight. We have got to stop that. I know every magazine in the grocery store, I know every book on the bookshelf, every article you see, a lot of them are just talking about, hey, drop 10 pounds 7 days, drop 7 pounds in 7 days, drop 30 pounds in a month. All of that is possible. I'm not saying they're lying. That's totally possible. But there are repercussions to doing that. You could take the morphine for that headache, but there's going to be side effects, right? So if you take this huge effort of dropping calories really low, tons of exercise, it'll get you a result. You probably will drop weight, at least at first. But there will be side effects. And for a lot of people, the side effects are huge and they are unnecessary, completely unnecessary. If we can just get through our heads that we need to take our time with this, it doesn't have to be rush, 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 be miserable the whole time you're doing it to get the results you want. So that's my analogy for you. I want you to remember next time that you feel like, God, I want to drop calories even lower, I want to work out even more. Remember the morphine. Don't do the morphine. All right, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. You guys came here because you wanted 15 quick minutes to listen to me yak and actually give you tips that you can use. So here we go. Number one ties in with the previous analogy, and that is when it comes to exercise, the very, very, very best exercise that you can do if you are not exercising currently, or even if you are, the best exercise you can do, it's the one you enjoy. Because think about it, if you enjoy it, you love it, you get joy out of it, you're gonna keep doing it. One of my prior clients used to use this awesome phrase, and she would say, that doesn't bring me joy. And usually she would be talking about that when she was talking about burpees. But anyway, side note, you need to find something that brings you joy, because the things that bring you joy are the things that you're going to do on a continuous basis. Because guess what? Whatever you do to get in shape is what you have to continue to do to keep that shape. Okay? So if you are dieting hardcore, totally slash those calories, you take the morphine route, and you're working out 2 hours a day, guess what you're going to have to do to maintain that? Those low calories, the 2 hours, that's what you're going to have to do. And I beg you, please don't do that. I've been down that road. I don't want you to do that too. It's unnecessary. I'm going to go over things that will help you do it in a safe manner that will get you the results that you want, and you won't have to deal with those nasty side effects. Okay? So keep listening. Number one, remember, find something that you enjoy, you love to do, okay? I promise you there's something else out there that you love. I personally used to love, and still do, spin classes. Like, I was obsessed. Like, spin classes made my day. So I took so many spin classes. I actually ended up becoming a spin instructor. And then I was taking classes and I was instructing classes. And I was taking like 8, 9 spin classes a week. It was getting crazy. And I loved it. I loved it until I burnt out on it. So if you find something you love, remember, you can still do it moderately. We're only looking for 3, 4, 5 days a week maximum of exercise. So find something you love to do, whether that's a hike with a friend, it could be a boxing class, it could be a spin class, it could be lifting weights, it could be working out at home with a home program, whatever it is. Find something that you enjoy and fits with your lifestyle. All right. Number 2, let's talk recovery. A lot of times when people first start working out, again, they're really motivated, and so they just go for it, right, with the exercise. And then the next day and the day after, they can't freaking move because they hit it so hard. Every single muscle that they have and ones they didn't know they have are sore. So this tip is all about recovery. Just a rule of thumb, 24 hours after you have done a workout, you should have your energy levels back to normal. So sometimes when you do a really hard workout, it can kind of wipe you out for a few hours, maybe even for the day. But by 24 hours later, your energy levels should be back up to a normal level. If they are not back at a normal level, then you know that you pushed a little too hard too soon. So just keep that in mind as you start working out and finding exercise that you enjoy. Sometimes we enjoy them so much and we're so motivated, we end up taking it a little too far and pushing too hard. So that's a very quick and easy way to know if you're pushing too hard. 24 hours, energy levels back to normal. Second recovery tip is muscle soreness. So when you start something new, it's very common to have muscle soreness, and that's not a bad thing. It just means you tore down some of those muscle fibers, and with your healthy eating and your recovery and your rest, you're gonna build back even more muscle fibers. So you're gonna get stronger over time. So this is a great thing that you feel some muscle soreness. Now, as with all things, when it enters the extreme, that's when we might have a bit of a problem. So another rule of thumb on this is about 48 hours after your workout, your muscles should be starting to get better. If after 48 hours they're still hurting bad or they're even getting more sore, you push too hard, too fast, okay? So rule of thumb, 24 hours, energy levels should be back. 48 hours, muscle soreness should be dissipating, okay? All right, there's your recovery tips for finding exercise you enjoy and recovering from it and knowing how hard to push, okay? So lastly, the next tip I want to do is go over calories with you. So let's get out in the email that came with this video, there should have been a link to a PDF handout. If you need to, stop the video, go back to the email and print that handout out so you can take a look at it while we talk. But if you already have it out, stay with me. So we want to talk about calories first. That handout will go into macros as well and how many protein grams, carb grams, and fat grams that you need to be eating on a daily basis. But for our purposes right now, we're just going to go over the calories. So you ready? You got your pen? You got your paper? You got your calculator? Don't be scared. You need a calculator, but it's not difficult. I'm not a math person, so when people say get out a calculator, I get a little nervous. So here we go. Depending on what your physique goals are, if you are just trying to maintain your weight, you're at a very healthy weight range, you feel good where you are, you just want to work on your health or maybe your strength or your endurance, but you don't really want your weight to change, you would take your body weight times 14. So whatever your body weight is times 14, whatever that number equals is the number of calories that you should be eating on a daily basis. So for example, let's take a 150-pound woman. If she feels great, I don't need to drop weight, I don't want to gain weight, I want to stay where I am, I just want to work on muscles or endurance or whatever, she would do 150 times 14, which incidentally is, I already did the math, is 2,100 calories. So on a daily basis, she should be shooting for 2,100 calories per day. Now again, that's for maintaining your weight. Second calculation, if this 150-pound woman is actually trying to drop weight and she wants to do it in a sane, healthy manner, she would do body weight times 12. So 150, that's her body weight, times 12 equals 1,800. So if the 150-pound woman's looking to drop a little bit of weight, she wants to do it in a healthy, controlled manner, nice, slow, and controlled. She doesn't want a whole lot of hunger. She wants it to be fun and easy. She would be looking at about 1,800 calories a day. Now, let's say you have an event coming up, or let's say that you're ready to kick it into gear and you are good to go and you don't want slow and easy. You still want healthy, but you don't want super slow. And you're willing to put up with the side effect, which would be some hunger. You will have hunger every day, but your fat loss will be sped up a little bit. That person would do their body weight times 10. So 150-pound woman times 10, she would be at 1,500 calories a day. All right, so here's the thing to know about these daily calories that we just calculated. Typically, in normal circumstances, you wouldn't want to go below body weight times 10. That's really kind of the lowest cutoff for calories that you'd want to go. There are going to be exceptions to that rule. There's always exceptions to every rule. But in general, you don't want to go below that, okay? Also, even though we say, okay, let's say you choose the moderate route and you want to do the 1,800 calories a day, you don't actually have to do 1,800 calories a day. Because what if you like to eat a little bit more on the weekends because you go out or you're with family and kids or whatever? You could do maybe 2,000 calories on Saturday, 2,000 on Sunday, and then maybe a couple of days during the week you go a little bit lower than 1,800. Yet, over a 7-day span, you have still averaged 1,800 per day. Okay? I know we're getting kind of nitty-gritty there, but take your body weight, do the calculations based on what you want to do. If you want to maintain, great, times 14. If you want to lose a little bit of body fat, nice, slow, and easy, times 12. If you want to kick it into gear and you're willing to deal with some hunger on a daily basis, take your body weight times 10. Write that number down and then shoot for that on a daily basis. Okay? All right, so those are my tips today to help you. I want you to remember that minimum effective dose analogy, because that will really help you figure out what you need to be doing with health and fitness. If somebody, your best girlfriend says, hey, I'm gonna go do this diet, take a look at it. And if it's the morphine route, then don't choose it. If you wanna sign up for an exercise class and you get there and your energy is shot and down the toilet for 48 hours, it's too much too fast. It was the morphine route. We don't want to do that. Remember, if your muscles are sore a week after your workout, probably push just a little bit too much on that one, okay? So back it off just a little bit. Get your calories calculated. Start looking at that on a daily basis. Start looking at the food you eat, because I promise you, you cannot you cannot reach your health and fitness goals if you're not looking at your nutrition. It's impossible. In fact, when I first started in this industry, I was only a nutritionist, and my business was entirely just about nutrition, and I named it the 80%, because 80% of what your physique looks like is going to be based on what you eat. So it's that super duper uber important. Okay, so calculate your calories, and then tomorrow will be day 2. That video will be sent to your email. So tomorrow we're gonna move on to a different topic. We're gonna be talking about lifestyle. So I know that sounds weird. People think, well, if I wanna get healthy, we should just be talking about working out and how I eat, right? Wrong. Wrong. There's a whole lot of stuff we could talk about lifestyle. Specifically tomorrow, we're gonna be talking about stress and sleep, because those are the 2 biggest ones I can think of that will affect your attempts to get healthy and will affect your attempts to drop fat. All right, so stay tuned, and tomorrow we'll talk about stress and sleep, and I promise I will give you actionable tips on how to reduce stress and get better shut-eye. Thanks for joining me. See you tomorrow. Bye.